Here's another tip from Rolling Strong with insights to help you stay healthy on the road.
What's going on, guys? Coach Scherzer here with Rolling Strong once again. Today we're going to be going over a nice new little series with a piece of equipment. Today in specific, the kettlebell, right? The kettlebell is a very versatile piece of equipment. It's great for strength, for conditioning, and even for some mobility. So what we're going to refer to today is lower body strength. We're going to be going over a list of movements, points of performance, and things to look out for, okay? So first things first, we're going to start off with the goblet squat. So take the kettlebell, bringing it up next to the chest, making sure that you're staying nice and tall, coming all the way to the bottom, standing up nice and tall. Good. So points of performance here on this movement is making sure that we keep the elbows up nice and tall, our back is straight, shoulders are pulled back, everything is nice and tight and engaged, and on the squat, we're pressing the knees out and getting as far down as we possibly can, okay? Next movement will be the lunge. Having the kettlebell off to the side or in the suitcase position, right? We're gonna pick this thing up and we're gonna go ahead and do a lunge. So you can either do this reverse lunge or you can do a forward lunge. Good. Points of performance here, making sure once again, we're standing up nice and tall. Posture is great. Posture is key for everything. We never want to be slouched, shoulders bent forward, never want to do that. Making sure that everything's nice and tight, pulled back, core is engaged. Making sure that we're not leaning toward the sides of the kettlebell and having this whole part disengaged, standing up nice and tall, right? Getting our knee to the ground or as close as we possibly can, depending on your range of motion and your mobility. The next movement is the deadlift, right? Once again, the kettlebell's up to the side. This is in the suitcase position. So, we're gonna do feet hip distance apart. We're gonna hinge in the hips, coming down, grabbing the kettlebell with one hand, making sure that our heels are flat to the ground. Drive through our heels, standing up nice and tall, hinging in our hip, pressing our hips back, coming down nice and slow and controlled to the ground, right? This movement primarily works the hamstrings and the glutes. We wanna make sure that everything is nice and tight once again. That way we're not overcompensating with our lower back and potentially hurt ourselves. The next movement is gonna be the sumo deadlift. So as you can see, this is the same movement, but different style or variation. Sumo just means nice wide stance. As you can see, making my legs nice and wide, angling the feet out. Everything is gonna be essentially the same, just the stance is a little bit different. This just means that we're activating and stimulating different muscles to fire when you're doing this movement. So this is gonna be more glute and side hamstring engaged. So pressing the knees out, hips down, driving through, keeping that chest tall, and coming down to the ground once again. So that nice wide stance once again activates different muscles. So that's the sumo deadlift. The next thing is gonna be the Bulgarian split squat. So I'll do this from a side angle. You have the kettlebell off to the side once again. Get into a nice split stance. So making sure that back heel is off the ground. What you're gonna do is bring that back knee to the ground, standing up nice and tall. Nice, slow and controlled every single time. Stand up. Good. Right, so we wanna make sure that once again, we're not leaning towards the side of the kettlebell. Always standing up nice and straight, right? And making sure that we're engaging our entire body, core is always engaged, making sure that we, once again, bring that back knee down to the ground or as close as we possibly can. I know that I'm not alternating on sides in this, but make sure that you're always doing both sides equally. Don't favor one side, alternate in between sides. So, next movement is going to be the glute bridge. So, this requires you to get down on the ground, lay flat on your back. You're gonna put the kettlebell on your hips, making sure that your feet are flat to the ground, heels are flat. You're gonna press through the heels, bringing the hips up as high as you possibly can, but controlling it back down. Press through the heels, coming back down. This primarily works the hamstring and the glute. You want to make sure that you're doing your best possible thing to press the hips all the way up towards the ceiling and essentially working those glutes as much as you possibly can. Now, the last movement that we're going to look here as the single leg Romanian deadlift. Two variations in the way to do this. So, to make it a little bit easier, Nice little split stance, right foot on the ground, slight bend in the front knee. You're gonna hinge in the hip, coming down, pressing through, activating that glute. Now, if you want to make this a little bit more difficult, you can lift that back leg, working on stabilizing muscles, coming back up. Good. So once again, this is a lot of different variations to test your lower body strength. We already went over a couple of points performance, but the main thing here, guys, is do a weight that's recommendable for you. You know your body more than anybody else, so make sure that you're not going too heavy, make sure that you're not going too light. Pick something that's moderate, that way you can do the movements properly and get a good amount of reps. So, making sure that we're engaging the right muscles. Predominantly, what you're gonna feel this in is gonna be this lower extremities, right? Quadriceps, hamstrings, glutes, calves, and some core and hips, right? One thing that we wanna look out for is poor technique. Poor technique can be for a couple of different reasons. The weight is too heavy, you're too exhausted. We want to make sure that we're constantly making sure that our posture is fantastic. That way we can eliminate the chance of injury. Now, last thing we're talking about is orientation of the load, which just means where we have the actual kettlebell or weight. So you can change the style of the movement and how the muscles are fired by just changing the direction or the orientation of the load. So as you can see in the demonstration before, we had the kettlebell off to the side, right? Or in the suitcase position. So this stimulates certain muscles and activates them in a certain way. Now to change the orientation of the load, we can get the kettlebell in this front rack position and do that same lunge, but now we're stimulating different things. Take these movements, build your own routine, get your own rep scheme going, making sure that we do these movements nice, slow, and controlled. Building strength usually takes anywhere between 10 to 12 reps, nothing more than that. Making sure that we get the movements down right. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this.
We're glad to offer these podcasts, and we hope you find them useful. At Rolling Strong, we're here to help.